This Sunday, for the communion chant, Honóra Dóminum, we get some good advice from King Solomon in the book of Proverbs. Honor the Lord with all your being, and with the first fruits of your harvest, and your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your winepress will flow forth abundantly. So in the sacrifice of the Eucharist, the offering that we make of our lives in the Eucharist, the offering we make of our Lord, we can be assured that spiritual abundance will be ours if we partake with proper disposition and spiritual understanding. Now, last week I spoke about modes. Modes are not so easy for us to hear because we are not used to this ancient sort of music. A mode is simply an arrangement of the different pitches of a scale or of a tune. And as I mentioned last week, there's usually one or maybe there are two notes that are key pivot notes for the mode. These will feel like places of rest. In our modern music, we have two modes left. We call them major and minor. Major keys or major modes are usually associated with sort of happy things. Songs like Happy Birthday or Singing in the Rain are in major keys. And we often associate minor keys with something serious or sad, like Beethoven's Fifth Symphony or the George Gershwin song Summertime, something like that. These are fairly simplistic ways of talking about the affect of the mode. But it is the case that the different modes have slightly different affects. This one that we sang for you today, Honóra Dóminum, is in mode 6. What this means is it's a major mode. The tonic, the final note, is Fa, and from there we go up 2 whole steps and we make a major third. And that's the key thing about a major mode, is it has that 2 whole steps above the tonic. Fa, sol, la, etc. So we're going to sing the first half of this again with me holding the tonic, so you can hear kind of the major sound. Then we'll compare it to last week's communion. So from the beginning. Now, this mode has elements in it of kind of a serene piety, a confidence. This helps us to interpret when Solomon says, honor the Lord with your whole being. He is giving a command, but it's friendly, paternal advice. It is quiet and confident, and there's nothing about it that is sort of stentorian or frightening. Now, let's listen to last week's communion, just a little bit of it, see if we can remember how this mode sounds. It's a slightly different mode. See if you can hear how it moves you emotionally slightly differently. Okay? Watch up top. So, I think you can hear a couple of things happening in these 2 different communions. This one, even though it's a minor mode, and so it sounds a little darker, a little more mysterious perhaps, it's very energetic. And we get the sense that even though there's something very interior, there's a great fervor to this. There's a great confidence and even an excitement of being able to make this offering to God, the perfect sacrifice. And so part of what we see is that chant is instructing us on how properly to dispose ourselves to receiving communion. There's not one trick to predisposing ourselves to receiving the Lord in the Holy Eucharist. In fact, it encompasses all of our lives. And if we're going to do as Solomon says and honor the Lord with our whole substance, then this will include parts of us that are mysterious, the parts of us that are confident and quietly joyful, our doubts, our struggles, etc. All of these come forward with the gifts to be placed on the altar to be given to God. But we are going to sing through Honóra Dóminum one more time because it's a long communion. And I'd like you to hear in this case how in the second half, when we talk about the abundance of grace that God is going to give us, see if you can hear how the general affect again changes a little bit. It gets a little more joyful and bright. So here is Honóra Dóminum.